This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, keeping you informed about the happenings in Annapolis and the area. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and of course, local weather. The Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, March 26th, 2019. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. This is a really cool story about Revolution Annapolis, which is a local church in town, partnering together with a company called RIP Medical Debt. Now, RIP Medical Debt, as far as I can tell, is basically a debt collector. They purchase medical debt at a steeply discounted rate, and what Revolution Annapolis did is they raised more than $15,000 paid to RIP Medical Debt in order to retire the debts owed by Anne Arundel County residents. More than 900 families have been impacted by this act of no-strings-attached generosity, and recipients of the release were sent letters informing them that their debt had been forgiven on March 25th. The amounts of the gifts range. Some are just as small as a couple $100s, and others are in the tens and even hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's obviously the original medical debt. The total value of the debt that was relieved, $1.8 million. Fantastic move by Revolution Annapolis. But it does make you wonder how $1.8 million can be reduced down to $15,000 and how out of control our medical system may be. Last night, Bishop Dr. Craig Coates led more than 80 Annapolitans through a group exercise to start the process of hiring a new chief for the city of Annapolis. Mayor Buckley and his staff was on hand, as well as members of the selection committee and several aldermen and women. And Bishop Coates presented 4 questions to groups assembled around the room. And the questions were, what are the issues? What does the community policing look like? What are the responsibilities of the community? And what qualifications and qualities do you expect in a police chief? Each table put their lists down for each question. Answers were compared at the end. And from this, the panel will determine the qualifications for the next police chief and undertake a search for him. There are additional meetings scheduled, and I do encourage anybody who has any kind of interest in the police chief in Annapolis to attend one. The next one will be Monday, April 1st at the Eastport Fire Station at 7 p.m. The next one will be Tuesday, April 2nd at the Pip Moyer Rec Center, also at 7 p.m. And the final one will be Thursday, April 4th at the Mount Olive Church Community Center, also at 7 p.m. The meetings do last about an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half. A brief update on a story we reported about yesterday about a double shooting in Glen Burnie. The 2 victims have been identified. The one found in the parking lot was positively identified as Antoine Elijah Queen. He's a 20-year-old male from the 500 block of Baltic Avenue in Brooklyn. The second one, who was found within the apartment at 300 Highland Drive, was identified as Antoine Troy Briggs, a 24-year-old male with no fixed address. Autopsies have been scheduled to determine the exact cause and manner of the death. It is a fluid investigation, and police are asking anybody that has any information to call the detectives at 410-222-4731, or if you want to remain anonymous, 410-222-4700. A bit of sad news out of the Annapolis City Police Department. Stephen Sugg, who is a former officer with the police department and a retiree from the Maryland State Police, passed away. The Annapolis Police Department posted the news of Officer Sugg's death on Monday on their Facebook page. He joined the Annapolis Police Department after retiring from the Maryland State Police, and he worked in the patrol division and was also a detective in the criminal investigations in Annapolis from February 2011 through his retirement in October of 2018. Our thoughts and healing wishes go to the family and friends of Officer Sugg. A Salisbury University student pleaded guilty to illegally wiretapping a congressional staffer after putting the conversation on Facebook Live without consent. Jake Burdett, who is a Salisbury University student, is 21. He has agreed to take probation before judgment and 100 hours of community service. Burdett is an advocate for Maryland marijuana justice, and he took part in a rally in front of Congressman Andy Harris's office in Salisbury, Maryland, back in October. He and then others met with a member of the congressman's staff in the office, and his staff told the group not to record the meeting, citing their policy. But Burdett recorded and streamed it on Facebook Live without the staffer's consent. I get the issue of recording without somebody's consent, but this seems to be a little bit different to me. This is a public official, and anything written, said, and done at a public meeting certainly should be available without the threat of prosecution. That's just my 2 cents. All right, that is about it for the top news today. Please make sure you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net throughout the day because we do update it throughout the day. We don't know what's coming down the road. Check out that first link in our show notes for all the different ways that you can connect with us. You might be surprised. If you are someplace where you can leave us a rating or a review, please do that. I would appreciate it. And make sure you give us a recommendation to your friends, family, and colleagues. We would appreciate that as well. Now, hang tight. We've got George Young standing by with your local DMV weather forecast. He's coming up after this message from my favorite geeks up in Severna Park, Macmedics. Have you ever been to the Annapolis Mall when it opens for the day? Maybe you've noticed the line of folks waiting to get into the Apple Store. As you may know, I'm a Mac user, and today's episode of the Daily News Brief, in fact, all of the episodes of the Daily News Brief have been produced right here on my Mac computer. What you might not know about is Macmedics. They were founded here in Annapolis in 1989, and they are an Apple-authorized premium service provider, the only one in the Baltimore, Annapolis, D.C. area. And what that means to you is that they repair all Apple devices, including the iPhone screens and batteries, all without an appointment. And most repairs are done the same day, usually within 2 hours. They also sell everything except the iPhone and the watch for the same price as Apple. I don't know why you would go anywhere else. Give them a call at 410-757-MACS, or if you're not into the whole letter thing, 410-757-6227. Stop by their retail store in Severna Park on Benfield Road or their service center in Lanham, right off of Route 50. Or you can always check them out online at macmedics.com. I'll tell you, they've saved me quite a few times, and I know they can save you.
Going out? You need the most up-to-date local weather. Here's George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis with today's forecast.
Hey everyone, this is George with DMV Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Tuesday, March 26th. After a cold front moved through the Annapolis region yesterday, high pressure will move back in for much of the rest of the week and possibly through the weekend, bringing with it sunny, dry conditions for the next several days. Look for sunshine and cooler temps both today and tomorrow, with highs in the 47 to 55 degree range across all of Anne Arundel County, before temps then warm into the 50s on Thursday and then 60s on Friday, with maybe even a 70-plus degree reading somewhere in the area with more sunshine on Saturday. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DMV Weather. Make it a great day out there today, and be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching for DC MDVA Weather in the Apple or Google App Stores. And also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and on our website at dmvweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
Join Anne Arundel Medical Center Foundation on Saturday, April 27, 2019 at our Denim and Diamonds Bash in Annapolis. Denim and Diamonds is a fun evening under the stars featuring fabulous cuisine and gourmet food trucks, live and silent auction, and a live band. Last year, AAMC cared for more than 2,000 patients in our emergency departments suffering from mental illness or addiction. Help us expand much-needed inpatient and outpatient programs and services for your community. For tickets and sponsorships, visit aamcdenimanddiamonds.org. Special thanks to our platinum sponsors, AAMC medical staff, the Chesapeake Bayhawks, Comcast, the Evan K. Thallenberg family, What's Up Media, and WRNR.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., keeping you informed with the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. And take a moment to listen to our other podcast, The Maryland Crabs, released every Thursday at noon.